Have you ever dreamed of living abroad? Or dreamed of working in a tropical destination, almost like a paid vacation? Perhaps you're just fed up with the divisiveness of the United States right now. Well, actually getting to work in another country is completely different and a very complex process. Securing a work permit in a foreign land is nearly impossible unless you have a high-demand skill. One of the most in-demand skills is the ability to teach English. So you do a little more research and learn that to teach in a foreign country, it is recommended that you get a professional certification, most commonly the TEFL, which is Teaching English as a Foreign Language, or TESOL, which is Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages. A quick aside, I have a TEFL Level 5 certification, 168 hours. I also hold a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, both of which I earned well before my TEFL. Intrigued by the possibility of working in a foreign country as a teacher, you begin your Google and YouTube search. The top results certainly grab your attention. "Teach English and live in paradise," says the headline on the video of some ultra-happy hipster on an exotic, too beautiful to be real beach. The idea is that teaching English provides you a life of leisure in a land of palm trees, margarita drinks and women named Margarita. It goes something like this. "Bro, I'm an English teacher in Vietnam, and I live my best life. It's so cheap to live in paradise, and teaching English gives you more than enough to live on." All these videos are misleading to various degrees, and for various reasons. Some lie to you for the views, because they don't earn much money teaching in a foreign country and are trying to supplement with income as a YouTuber. Others are recruiters who run their own TEFL businesses, and they need desperate teachers who don't know any better. I've encountered both. Here's the problem with these types of videos. They have an agenda and a financial motivation for their message. Sure, the message is hard to resist. This guy's happy, and he lives by the beach in a condominium that only costs $200 a month. His food is basically free. He works his own schedule and has never had more freedom in his life. The YouTube algorithm suggests videos by other content creators that suggest the same thing. Algorithms are funny that way. They give you what you want. I'm here to tell you that what you're being sold isn't even a fraction of the reality of being a teacher of English in another country. I know, because I have first-hand knowledge. The chaos of life in the United States had worn me out years ago. I'd been looking for ways to live abroad. Nearly all turned out to be dead ends. The rest of the world doesn't need workers from America. Why? Because we're entitled and used to being compensated well and treated much better than workers in many other countries, except for the work until you're dead thing. So I bought a TEFL course, completed it online in a few months, and started spamming those apply buttons. What did I get? A whole lot of nothing. All the companies that promise good pay to teach from home on your own schedule: English Hunt, Native Camp, italki. Whiffed on all of them. But how? I have 2 college degrees. I'm TEFL certified. I'd been volunteering at a literary center in my town for almost 5 months. Oh, sure. I could sign up with most of these platforms, and I did. But I received not a single teaching job or student in the year I have been active. Not one. Why? Supply and demand. Too many teachers, not enough students. The wealth of new teachers drives the cost of classes down, and you won't be able to charge anywhere near a competitive enough rate to build clientele. That's okay, you say. I got my TEFL to live in a foreign country anyway. I'll just move to an exotic location and teach there. Great idea. On your way to the airport, pick up some lottery tickets as well. Your odds of success in both endeavors are probably similar. Why? Moving to another country to find a job is way harder than it looks. Number 1, despite what a lot of YouTube wants you to believe, it's not that easy to move to another country. In fact, for most of the world, It's highly restrictive, requiring either enough money for a retirement visa or to hired in advance by a foreign employer to get your work visa. Number 2, misleading job listings. Chances are many of the details in the job listing, what you are told by the recruiter and even the interviewer, is not completely true. Some are outright lies. I will do a future video that is a deeper dive on this subject. But the bottom line is this: take every job listing with a grain of salt. Number 3, do you know that much about the country where you want to teach English? Have you been there before? Do you like the food? How will you adapt to the culture, the weather? Do you know how different it is teaching English in Thailand compared to Taiwan? I'll give you a hint. In Thailand, if your students' parents aren't happy with their child's progress, they are less likely to sue you in court than they are in Taiwan. So it's impossible. No, not entirely. If you have a few $1,000s to spend on living costs in your new country while you look for work, you can take this path and hope you get lucky. I did this once. Unfortunately, I ran out of disposable income after about 2 weeks, just when I was getting called for interviews. So it is an option, but not a great one. Number 4, chances are that your dream country isn't hiring. You're not going to get a job teaching in Spain, Italy, Greece, France, or Germany. The European Union holds work permits for European citizens. It's that simple. How about Mexico? Well, outside of the instability in cartel areas, there's so many retired expats who are already teaching English part-time that there's few openings and low pay. What about Latin America or South America? Pretty much the same as Mexico. The top-paying jobs will allow you to earn just enough to live on basic fare and the most modest housing. If you have no other bills, then great. But if you think you're going to pay off those credit card bills, travel the country and live a middle-class lifestyle, forget it. Your best bet is Asia, a huge, massively diverse area that is very different from region to region, country to country. Japan, in general, isn't hiring TEFL teachers the way the rest of Asia is, and the pay isn't within the cost of living and housing shortages. China is always hiring. However, the brutally complex visa process may make you wish you'd never gotten into teaching in the first place. And although China needs native speakers to teach English, they do not value them. I will do a video in the future on my miserable experiences chasing employment in China and why I doubt I'll ever attempt it again. Vietnam is low cost of living and equally low pay, without the best reputation for providing teachers support or the best working conditions. Thailand and Malaysia have been positive experiences for me, but not without their own problems. However, compared to other countries, many TEFL teachers have better experiences in Thailand than the rest of Asia. Ditto Malaysia. Then there's places like Indonesia, the Philippines, and Cambodia. The conditions for English teachers here are similar to those of countries such as Peru, Argentina, or Puerto Rico. Low pay and a poor quality of life for a TEFL teacher. Before you start applying for jobs anywhere, plan on taking several months at the minimum to learn about the requirements to work there, life as a foreigner there. Because in places like China, foreigners, even English teachers, is that of a second-class citizen. What kind of schools are there in your chosen country? Whether it's a language center, government or private school or university, there's positives and negatives to all. Although language center employment is at its best, the lowest rung, and at its worst, borderline exploitive. At this point you're asking, if teaching English is such a miserable pursuit, then why do you do it? I'll tell you. Hopefully the same reason you have. Because you love teaching your language and sharing your culture with someone from a different culture than yours. Because traveling and living in another country expands your worldview, opens your eyes to new experiences, and allows you to appreciate the smallest, simplest, and yet somehow the most beautiful things the world has to offer. And it sure beats being a desk monkey for some corporate job that will replace you with an AI program in 6 months. If this video was any help to you at all, piqued your interest in learning the realities of the TEFL industry, or was just good for laughs, then please let me know. I will do my best to answer any questions you have in the chat or in a future video. I plan to do a series on what I've learned about the ups and downs of being an English teacher. The more views, likes, and subscriptions, the more videos I will produce. I will do them as my schedule allows, because I am still working in this unforgiving but somehow rewarding field.